Hello, folks. How are you? It's Wednesday evening, the 4th of November, 2020. And yeah, I don't know if you know this, but I have been listening and meditating and bringing up the Christian Hebrew God Yahweh for many, many, many years. I completed a rather large book of his sayings, and I've become very familiar with his point of view. I'll put the link to my transcription of our conversations down below. And what has happened is that governance by consent of the governed has died in the United States. There is so much evidence of election rigging by 7 or 8 states in which there were more votes than there were registered voters, okay? States in which huge numbers of boxes and bags of votes were dumped after November 3rd was over, all right? States in which they predicted what they were going to do. You know, Biden himself said he had a network of that was working on election fraud. And then he said in another case that it was not by the voting that he was going to be made president, okay? We have witnessed a completely manipulated and rigged election, and the United States is in fact the last bastion of common law constitution and common law jurisprudence in the world. The rest of the world has already caved in to the robber baron billionaire globalists who have established a method for top-down treachery that will capture and cull and remove most of the intelligent people off the world and make the world into a place of bureaucracy. And you know how socialism works, to each according to his ability, from his ability to each according to his need, all right? So all you have to do in a socialist state is plead and bleat, and you can get your needs met. Grovel, grovel. That's the socialist state. Everybody learns to grovel, and they learn to hide their gifts. And that's not a prescription for a thriving economy or a healthy set of a healthy mindset, as Dr. Jordan Peterson, I'm sure, will agree. And so now that the United States voting system has been eliminated and destroyed from having any structural integrity, okay, maybe they'll patch this up and they'll President Trump will be allowed to continue his presidency despite all of the rigging and machinations and backroom stuff that's been going on. But the problem will occur again in 22 and again in 24. The United States common law government is dead. And there is nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. The rest of the world has already overwritten common law constitutions with commercial statutes, globalist wish lists and bucket lists. And unfortunately, the globalists don't have methods. They don't have peaceable, honest, decent, fair methods. They are wishers. The left wing is made up of wishers. Having been schooled by the Fabian Society and the Frankfurt School and Saul Alinsky and Karl Marx, their way of doing things is to destroy everything and then hope they can come up with something that will work now. And that's not going to work. Now, in scripture, the 24th chapter of Matthew talks about a time when humanity is facing this kind of impasse. And what it comes down to is Matthew 24:38 to 41, when holy law is no longer held in any esteem whatsoever, which is common law. And when the doctrine of fairness is completely overruled by backroom mafia tactics, that's when the reset doesn't come from the United Nations and the banking system and the global governance. That's when the reset comes from the cosmic dimension. And so what has been accomplished by the election in the United States is that common law has been rejected, honesty has been rejected, decency is being rejected, and we're at the point which Jesus talked about, in the days of the Son of Man, things would be just like they were in the days of Noah, when the human situation was ungovernable, and it has reverted now to being ungovernable. So you look at the options, okay? One option is to leave the New World Order in place and allow the genocide and slavery and misery that it ensues. Another option is to either cripple the ability of the New World Order, or to provide another place where holy and common law can be practiced and a society can again thrive on its principles. And the third option, of course, is a total reset, to just clean it all off. And I don't know how much you've looked at Martin Liedeke or John Levi or New Earth, but this world has already seen several resets that just simply cleaned everything off and started over. And so, given the failure of the United States election to hold a fair election, those are the options that are on the table. Just want to let you know that the left, yes, if we are able to cripple them, it would only be delayed. They never give up, okay? They never give up. And this is due to an event that has not been reported in our histories. And that is the crashing of a starship here in the 1300s, 1350, that brought us a crew of higher beings that became the ones who created the Renaissance and created the Masonic order and created the higher civilization aspects that we see all around us in the ruins, but that also brought slavery, human trafficking, double sets of rules, genocide, sexual slavery of children. They brought with them in 1300s some really derelict practices with them, which are part of the commercial world today, part of the Greada Treaty that Eisenhower signed, part of the Tau 9, part of George Herbert Walker Bush's adventures into drug running, gun running, and child sex trafficking that have literally taken over commerce. Now, what can Jesus do? I don't know. I don't talk to Jesus. I talk to his Father, Yahweh. And apparently, Jesus and his Father have different points of view about what is possible. But what I can say, and what is absolutely clear, is that the failure of the US election to be carried out in an honest and responsible way is a watershed. And even if Trump is allowed to continue in 22 or 24 or whenever, the backroom mafia tactics for tearing control and governance away from the people and handing it to an effete class of robber baron, billionaire, occult people is not going to work out. And so if we don't have a total reset now, there's one coming at us in the future, because the system of governance has fallen off its horse. It's not working. It didn't work in this election. And all of the smugness of the left will be short-lived, because they are the people who advocate violence, double dealing, treachery, protection racketeering, divide and conquer. I mean, these are the practices we see before us every day and every night that repudiate the holy laws of God and the beatitudes of Jesus. They repudiate civil society in toto. Innocent babies are sacrificed. Governments do medical experiments on innocent citizens and don't tell them what they're doing. Defense contractors target individuals who are whistleblowers and gang stalk them and attack them, and that's what's going on for me right now. Everybody should be questioning this cheating. And what is disturbing to me is that Judicial Watch and Tom Fitton have been pointing it out and talking about it for months and showing how it has been going on for months, and nobody paid any attention to it. So now when the rallies for the president show that the nation is behind the president, the election accounting is not accountable to what the people wanted. And the left sneers and giggles, and they think it's so cute and so funny that they've tricked us. Well, they've tricked us, yes, but they haven't tricked the cosmic planetary sovereign. And so we have a debt that is going to get paid in blood and sacrifice and well, I don't know about sorrow. I'm at the point, as much as I love the music that we have and the beauty and the love and the honor and the harmony we are still able to achieve, I look at what the left is doing from the time that my aunt and uncle, Eugene and Peggy Dennis, were advocating the overthrow of the government by simply practicing sedition and how they can just undo everything. And I've been saying to myself, you know, if it ever comes to that, I hope the whole thing gets taken down. And I'm at the point where I'm saying, you know, it's so filthy. The practices of the globalists are so insincere and unethical. Maybe it's time for the whole thing to come down, all of it. And so that's what I'm sharing with you, that the God who was responsible for Moses teaching common law to the people and for his son Yeshua teaching ethics to the people, is not going to put up with what has happened in this election. And there's going to be blowback and payback, and the people who are snickering and giggling now are not going to continue to snicker and giggle. And none of us gets out of here in an intact meat suit in any case, right? So whatever it takes to return to common law decency, harmlessness, and truth, and justice, and fairness, and equity is what we need to pray for, whatever it takes. And the entire socialistic gaming that to each according to his need and from each according to his ability, that gaming, because it makes people hide their abilities and and bleat, for needs. It's just pitiful. No, we can't go there. We can't go there. So Kayla, thank you so much for coming by. And they want to create a revolution and they want to take our guns. Well, I don't think they're going to be able to take our guns, because we're going to need our guns to deal with nature after this revolution of incompetence and treachery is removed from our world. And it will be removed one way or another. My name is Emily Windsor Craig. And I just want to let you know, the election being at a loss is not the fault of the people who have worked so hard to hold to the high standard of behavior of the Judeo-Christian ethic. It has more to do with demons and archons and twisted minds, and God will deal with it if we can't. Thank you. Bye-bye.